Hey, Heather.
Hey Mike, how are you?
Finding yourself?
Doing good. I like your shirt.
Oh, thanks. Yes, this is like has like camping equipment on it.
That's cool. That's
Yes,
nice.
yes, including toilet paper and stuff like that.
Cool. So what's new with
Yeah,
you?
I like
Anything
your
new?
outfit too.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Anything new with you?
No, as usual, my life has been kind of boring lately.
Your life is never boring.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Well, shall we get into it?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. Um. So, welcome, Joey 501. Do you have a question for me?
Should we start with the forum question while we're waiting for people to put their questions in the chat?
Okay.
Cool.
So we really only have one form question. Gilles Maire asks, this fall, Virgin Galactic will be launching its first space tourism flight. Tickets cost $250,000. Are you interested in such an experience, and what price would you be willing to pay? I absolutely would love to do that. I predict the prices are going to drop on that significantly. Right now, I could only justify maybe paying like $10,000, which I know is ridiculous. That their cost would be way more than that. However, hopefully we'll figure out a way to get people in space cheap before I die, and I would love to go in space before I die, but at this rate, I probably won't get to, but you never know.
You never know, it could happen.
I'm also really hoping we land a man on Mars before I die.
That could happen too.
Yes, and I also really want to make it to the total eclipse in 2045. So I will be 80 at the time. So I'm trying to stay in good shape to be around for that.
Well, make your reservation now and you might get it.
Ah, okay. Um,
I got one more question, and that's sort of going off of that. Would
okay.
you go on the airplane that drops and puts you in zero G so it feels like space, even though you're not in space?
Yeah, I would go on that. I know a friend who did that.
Oh, you do?
So, I mean, that wouldn't be nearly as going into real space, but yeah, I would consider doing that.
It's pretty close.
Hmm. To me, it's just, I don't know. It's just kind of, I mean, I haven't done it. I shouldn't put down anything that I haven't tried. But to me, there would be nothing like going into real space and being able to look down on the earth and and float for a for a long period of time.
Okay. So if you guys are watching, if you have any questions, put it in the chat and we will ask Mike for you. We will start off with my question. My question is, have you ever skydived?
Yes, I went skydiving in Australia, and it was a tandem jump. And yeah, I think the scariest part of that was you get in the plane and it just circles over and over and over again over the same spot, going up in altitude. And they explain before you do this that like there's three lights, and like say the green light will come on when it's say 5 minutes to jumping, and the yellow one when it's 2 minutes, and the red one when it's 30 seconds. And once these lights start coming on, I started getting mentally a little bit freaked out. But but what can you do? And but once you actually jump out of the plane, it's fun. Um,
Now,
and go ahead.
you have a video of this, right?
Yeah,
On your website or on your YouTube channel?
I don't remember. Yeah, I think I did throw it on my private YouTube channel, The Platypus
Oh, okay.
Garden. It's not a very impressive video. Um,
I thought it was pretty cool.
oh, well, thank you. I'd like to go again. My son keeps asking me to, so maybe I'll go with him for his birthday.
That would be a fun
Have
birthday.
you ever done that?
No, I will not jump out of a perfectly good airplane. I am totally good with having 2 feet on the ground.
How about cliff jumping?
Oh yeah, I do that, but that you're attached to a rope doing that.
You're thinking of rappelling.
Oh.
I'm talking about
Oh, like bungee jumping?
no, I'm talking about jumping off a cliff into water.
Uh, eh,
Have you ever been to Nelson's Landing?
no.
You should go sometime. It's a great cliff jumping spot close to Las Vegas.
Okay, that's really good to know. And do you know any other like good Lake Mead places to go visit?
I am not a big fan of Lake Mead, to be honest with you. I basically like the Colorado River much better. Willow Beach is nice. You can rent boats out of there and kayaks or bring your own. Nelson's Landing is a little bit further south on the Colorado River. That's where they have the cliff jumping, and there's a nice bay there that's safe for swimming in. And there's this kayak trip you can do that starts out at Hoover Dam and ends in Willow Beach. I'm a big fan of that. I've done that several times. So I love anything to do with water, but Lake Mead, to be honest, I find kind of boring and not very scenic. If I lived closer to it, I'd probably go more often, but I'm way on the opposite side of Vegas.
Okay. Now,
All right.
remember, if you guys have any questions, put it in the chat and we will get to them. Our first question is from David. What are your thoughts about Ultimate X Poker?
Yeah, that's the game with the abandoned multipliers sometimes. So I've done a lot of math on this game, and I know it's a popular game among advantage players. I have never personally gotten into it. It makes for a very interesting game in terms of math analysis, and I could talk about this a long time, but a good advantage play is you look at these games and you look for games with abandoned multipliers, and if there's enough of them, it's a positive expected value. So that's about all I can quickly say about that. But I have a lot of material about Ultimate X on Wizard of Odds.
Very cool. So go to wizardofodds.com and check it out.
Yep.
Next question is from Glenn. Is Christopher Mitchell genuine?
I don't know who he is. Do you, Heather?
No. I was thinking you might.
I'll do a quick search, but why don't we go on to the next question?
Well, while you're doing the quick search, we have an easy one. What is your favorite bar off the Strip and on Fremont Street? And on the Strip. So what's your favorite bar on the Strip, off the Strip, and on Fremont Street?
Okay. I see Christopher Mitchell here has a lot of videos. A lot of them seem to be titled things that imply easy ways to win money in Vegas. And where he's holding out a lot of money. Yeah, I don't like saying bad things about people. I see there's a thread about him at Wizard of Vegas. I'll check him out, and please remind me to ask him about him next week. But yeah, off the top of my head, I don't know enough to say anything. Okay, so you asked me about my favorite bar.
Yes, your favorite bar on the Strip, off the Strip, and on Fremont Street.
I'm not a very good person to give bar recommendations, but let me think. I kind of like the Tahiti bar. Do you know what that is? Have you been there?
That's Spring Mountain, right? Where it's in the Chinatown.
Yeah, it's the bar with kind of a like a Tahiti kind of a theme, with lots of mermaids and nautical stuff. So they make these fancy drinks that they call strange things. Yeah, well, I went there with you now that I remember it, and they have all these. What are those windows called that they have in ships?
Oh,
round ones.
Yeah.
But yeah, you open those, and I don't want to give away the surprise, but if you go there, open those windows, and the bathrooms are quite interestingly decorated. At least the men's is.
No, definitely go visit the bathroom. We won't say what you're going to see, but oh my God, you have to visit the bathroom in there.
Yeah, so I like that one. Let's see.
And the drinks there, the drinks that you get at that place, that's the kind where they light it on fire and you have all these interesting like flavors and everything.
Yeah, it's a really fun place, and they have, as I recall, like you don't sit at tables, but they have like these kind of like couches that you sit on, and like your whole group kind of sits in like your own little corner, and there's a table in the middle. And yeah, we went there after we played an escape room.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was fun. Okay, so, but let's see, downtown. I'm such a bad person to give bar recommendations. I prefer to just drink at home. But let me think.
I know for Fremont Street, if you go East Fremont Street, on the right-hand side, before you get to Atomic Bar, there's a bar there that's sort of like a little like hole in the wall.
Yeah.
And it looks really small at first, but it goes back like really far. And it has a lot of fun Instagram things. So you have one room that's, decked out in all red and velvet, and you take Instagram photos there. And then the next room is decked out and, all these like really trippy looking, it's hard to describe, but it's very Instagrammable. And they have parties there where you have like bingo every night, and if you get the bingo, you get like a free drink. So they have all these games and everything going on, and it's a pretty cool bar for like a little hole in the wall thing. And I wish I knew the name of it, but it's I don't remember the name of it. I know it's on Fremont East, and I know it's on the south end side before you get to the Atomic Bar.
Okay. Is that the Griffin by any chance?
I don't remember the name of it. My friend was like, "Oh, we got to check this place out." And I was just so impressed with it.
Okay. Yeah, I can't think of any other bars to mention. Most of my friends are fuddy-duddies and don't drink. And yeah, sorry, I'm not a good one to ask. Okay, let's go on to a new question.
Next question. So Miami Boy said that he tweeted you a card trick, and he was wondering if you had a chance to see it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I know I have a Twitter account and I know how to post on it, but I'm just terrible about checking messages or whatever they're called.
DMs.
That I'm sorry. I'm just so Twitter ignorant. Like I don't know how to retweet, and I really don't like social media. I just kind of have to do it.
Yeah, it's a part of the job.
Yep.
Okay, so our next question is actually it's more of a statement. There will be a total solar eclipse in Central Texas on 4/8/2024.
You're absolutely right. I have been reminding people of this ever since the last one in 2017, and I'm definitely going to be there. I'm planning to see it in Waco. And why there? It's because there's a lot of hotels there. And why Texas? Because I think that it's fairly close to Vegas, and plus there's a good chance of having clear skies. This eclipse is going to cut from Maine, going southwest through Texas, and then down through Mexico. And yeah, I am definitely going to be that. And 1 year before, exactly a year before, book your hotel reservations, because most hotels you can't book more than a year in advance. And the last 2017 eclipse, hotels were charging ridiculous prices, and it was difficult to get a room. So yeah, 100%. I'm going to be there unless I'm really sick or something like that. And as I mentioned earlier, well, that's probably why you say this. There's going to be another one that the one after that cuts through the continental U.S. will be in 2045. So yes.
Cool.
Absolutely. We'll be there, and I encourage all of you guys to do so. And if you want, come see it with me in Waco.
Very cool. Might take you up on that.
You should. Everyone should see a total eclipse before they die. And you must see it in totality. You can't see it outside of the totality line and claim you saw it. No, you didn't. You must see the totality line. And if you're 5 miles outside of it, it doesn't count. It's just not the same.
So it's basically like going to a virtual Burning Man and saying you've been to Burning Man.
Yeah, I guess you could kind of say that. But seeing a total eclipse outside of the totality line is like seeing a partial eclipse, which are no big deal. So yeah, I can't emphasize this enough that I think that for a lot of people, seeing a total eclipse is almost like a life-changing experience. At least it was for me. So so there you go.
Cool. So our next question comes from Joey. Would you consider doing a John Carpenter and go deep in the ocean?
Yeah, are you referring to the abyss? But yeah, I would absolutely be interested in doing that. I did go on a submarine in Maui, but it didn't go very deep. But yeah, absolutely. I would like to think I'm a pretty adventurous kind of person, and would be very interested in something like that.
So what was that like to be in a submarine? What happened?
To be honest, it's not that submarine ride was not something I would do twice. Is they packed a submarine designed for tourists that was basically like a bus, and this happened so long ago I don't remember that well, but you know, they went, I don't know, like 100, 200 feet deep, and I think they tried to show you some coral and stuff like that. But when you get pretty deep in the water, it gets dark, so it was hard to see anything. And but nevertheless, you know, I always wanted to go in a submarine, so I did it, and kind of cross it off my list. Don't need to do it again unless there was something really interesting about it, like it went really deep or went to some place that was really where there was something very interesting to see. Like there's a underwater cemetery in Florida that I'd be kind of interested in seeing.
Okay, that sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, so the way it works is they take your ashes and they mix it into cement, making concrete that is partially your ashes, and I think they can form it into any whatever shape you want, maybe even a statue of you, and then they plop it down in the ocean there, and it's like 100 feet deep. So again, it's like a underwater cemetery.
Could you choose what it looks like?
I'm sure you could.
I would pick the statue from Doctor Who, the Weeping Angels, the one. Dude, I would freak some people out when they go down there and see that. Oh, that sounds scary. Have you ever been in a haunted house, like a real haunted house where they like advertise it as a haunted house?
You mean like the ones you would pay to go to for Halloween?
No, I'm talking about like up in Washington, there's a hotel that claims they're like legitimately haunted. One of those places.
I would be happy to, but I don't really know of any. I know that one of the rooms in the Clown Motel is allegedly haunted, and I would be happy to spend a night in there. Yeah, I know there was another, speaking of Tonopah, there was another, I think a whole floor in the, I think it's called the Mitzpah or the Mitzvah Hotel is allegedly haunted. Yeah, I don't believe in such things, so I'd be happy to, shall we say, do something like that on a dare and report about it.
That would be a good blog.
Yep. Okay. Let's go on.
Next question is from Mark.
Mm-hmm.
Recently got a job at the Circa, and I've been gambling more in downtown lately.
Mm-hmm.
I seem not to have much luck these days at slots and Ultimate Texas Hold'em. Any tips?
I'd be interested to know when the Circa is supposed to open. I have to move this to actually read it. Well, I don't believe in luck. I definitely would recommend not playing slots. And at Ultimate Texas Hold'em, follow my strategy, which you can find on my site. It's in my book. If you're not following that, you should. So Ultimate Texas Hold'em is a great choice of game, and slots are absolutely terrible. I like the Ultimate Texas Hold'em game at the Golden Gate with the dancing dealers. I like the Golden Gate in general. So yeah, that's about as far as I can take that one.
Okay. So our next question is from Wild Foodie. I just tiered matched my Diamond Elite status from Caesars to M Life Platinum. Does Caesars or M Life have better benefits? Which one has better benefits? And which company do you prefer and why? I'm especially curious about the offers.
I didn't know about this tier matching thing. I'm just a regular diamond with Caesars. I wonder if M Life would honor that. Whatever. I just want the free parking privileges, which I know I don't need right now. But anyway, I haven't been an M Life member in a long, long time, so can't speak to that very well. I will say that I have found Caesars to be getting more and more stingy. Now, what did you call it? Diamond Elite status. It now is that Diamond status really doesn't get you very much. It does get you the free parking. You can stand in a shorter line for things, which is nice. But recently, and it's not like I asked for a lot, but I asked for, and it used to be that you could get 2 free show tickets to certain shows, certain low-level shows if you were a Diamond member. And so anyway, like a year ago, maybe 2, I asked for 2 high roller tickets, and they charged me. And I said, I thought these were free to Diamond members. And they said something like, we changed the rules. We did give them, I think I got maybe like some discount, maybe 20% or something. But, I was just offended that it takes a lot of play to get to Diamond status, and they can't even give me 2 tickets to a Ferris wheel. So after that incident, I kind of gave up on Caesars. Sad to say. And as far as M Life, yeah, maybe I'm going to have to take my business to the MGM casinos, but I really, I live here, so I don't have the need for comps as much as other people. And anyway, that's about all I can say about that one.
Okay. Now, the windows on a submarine, is that portholes?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, cool. Several people got that. Joey was the first one to get it. Our next one is from Anne. If ABC knew about you, I know, hi Anne, and offered you a spot with Dancing with the Stars, would you accept and go on the show?
No, I am such a terrible dancer. I would just embarrass myself.
It would be entertaining.
It would be entertaining because people could make fun of me, but I mean, maybe if I took a lot of lessons, but I am just such a klutz when it comes to dancing. I'm like a 1 in 100 bad dancer. So.
Well, look at it this way. When I dance bad and people laugh at me, I'm like, well, at least they're laughing. At least I made them laugh.
Well, that's a nice way to put it, but I would get my feelings hurt if they laughed at me. So, yeah.
Okay, so our next one, let's see, is the Tiki Bar place where Ghost Adventures once went. Do you watch that show?
No.
Okay, I don't.
Can you answer that?
I can't answer that. Sorry. You'll have to rewatch the show. What is Heather dressing up for as Halloween? This is super easy. Star Trek.
Yes.
We're going to be dressing up.
Yes. 2 weeks will be our next show, and Father Michael will be filling in for me, and he will be giving some Catholic trivia. So be ready.
Yeah, that's perfect for Halloween. Sounds good. And I'll be dressed up in a Star Trek uniform, deflecting any enemies we might come across.
Okay. I hope it's the sexy outfit.
Well, it's the red dress, so I'm not living through that episode.
All right.
So our next one is from Paul. How much action is required to get a casino host, and should I seek one out? Are there independent hosts that can get casinos to compete for my action?
Okay. The lower level the casino, the easier it is to get a host. I would say that for the average strip casino, like say Paris or the MGM, for table game players, you're probably going to need like a $200 average bet. For slot machine, like real slots, it's going to be a lot easier. I think ultimately the casinos are going to look for somebody who generates a theoretical loss, probably of at least $1,000 a day. And there's ways of tricking them into thinking that you're a more lucrative player than you really are. I could talk about this for a long time. So video poker is a good way to get attention from a host at a fairly low expected cost. What else could I say? And you could always just ask casinos, like, what do you expect for me to get a personal host? And what else could I say? At other casinos, like say the Suncoast out where I live, it's a lot easier. And now independent hosts tend to represent casinos outside the U.S., like cruise ship casinos and Caribbean. And they also look for about the same kind of level of play, like a theoretical loss of $1,000 a day. And they independent hosts also can represent people that play in the Vegas casinos, but there you tend to need even bigger action to get their attention. And there are companies, that represent their services as independent hosts. And you can always ask them, like, what kind of level player do I need to be for you to host me, and just see what they say.
Sounds good. And then, do you feel that the casino comps or the hosts give the players the same amount as they used to in the past? Do you feel that's gone down a bit?
I haven't had a host at a strip casino since I got backed off at the MGM properties, and this was around like 2005. So, but I can't say that people complain generally that every casino is just getting stingier with comps, whether it's with a host or not. So that's about as far as I can take that one.
Okay. Our next question is also from Paul. In craps, can you improve the house edge of buy and lay bets by taking advantage of how the house rounds the vig? And if so, how do you maximize this, and what's the new edge?
That's a good question. And for example, okay, let me make sure I have this right. If you do a buy bet on the 4 or 10, if you do it for $25, so normally the commission there is 1%, no 5%. So so a $25 bet should be a $1.25 commission, or $1.25, but they round it down to $1. So that's why you commonly see people making buy bets on the 4 and the 10 for $25. So that's one trick. And I have asked craps dealers with, dealers like this question, like exactly how do they round? And it's hard to get a straight answer, and it's not always the same policy. Even within a casino, it depends on the dealer and the foreman. But that's another good question. Maybe I'll make an Ask the Wizard question out of that. So that's about as far as I can take it.
Okay. Sounds like a good answer. Let's see. Our next question is from Sai. And Sai says, Ola from Hawaii. Craps question. Can you pull a don't pass bet and odds at any time during a roll, or is it a contract bet?
Aloha. Let's see. Can you pull a don't pass bet? I know you can always pull down odds bets if you want to. And a don't pass bet, they should be happy if you take that down, because once you survive that first roll, you have positive equity in that bet. So I think that they would let you take down a don't pass or a don't come bet, but you'd be a fool to do so. And again, with odds bets, you can take those up and down anytime you wish.
Yeah, I think with the don't pass, what it is you can't put a don't pass bet down when a point's established.
Oh, is that what he was asking?
No, I think that was if you can't pull it, but you also can't put it down when the point's established. I was just putting that in there.
Okay. I also might add that you can make put bets, which are like a pass line bet with odds without going through that come out roll. But again, I don't recommend doing that, because the come out roll is where you have value with a pass line bet, where you're more likely to win than lose. So why would you skip that good first roll? So that's my answer to that one.
Okay. Our next question comes from Miami Boy. Have you ever heard of the card game All Fours? It's a 2 versus 2 game of Trinidad and Tobago.
Trinidad and Tobago.
Okay.
No, I haven't heard of that. But on that note, I am releasing some videos on YouTube where I explain how to play some silly poker games. I recently released videos about how to play Guts and Screw Your Neighbor. And I've got about 5 others in the pipeline. So please check those out.
Sweet. Awesome. So our next question is from Foodie Tours. Too many people have regular diamond because of previous tier matching. Right now, only diamond elite and higher can match with an M Life Platinum. M's second highest tier. M Life second highest tier. So it's a
thanks for that
statement.
information. I did not know that.
Yeah. And then our next one. From Trevor. I know side bets are for suckers. However, I really enjoy Match the Dealer in Spanish. What is the house advantage in that game? Match pays 4-1 on one unsuited match and 9-1 unsuited.
Well, that answer can be easily found on my website. Go to Wizard of Odds, click on Spanish 21, and then I know I cover the Match the Dealer side bet. But off the top of my head, I don't remember the house advantage on that one.
Okay. And we're getting through the questions. So if you guys have any questions, speak now or forever hold your peace.
Shall we have a little musical interlude?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, so you guys try to name this tune.
Name that tune.
Wait, sorry. Thank you.
Yeah.
Not especially proud of that performance. Can anyone name that tune?
So if you guys know the answer, put that in the chat. We don't have any answers just yet, but I'm sure we'll get some in a moment. Should we answer a question while we're waiting for people to respond?
Yes.
Okay. So our next question comes from Joey. I saw a video saying when straight laying a bet on a, say, 10 with £5 minimum game, and you have to bet that amount and to win the table minimum. He wants to know if this is true. So I saw a video saying when laying a straight laying a bet, 10 on a 10, a £5 minimum game that you have to bet that amount and in order to win the table minimum. Is that true?
Oh. I think so. No one's ever asked me that before. But yeah, I would assume so, but I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, that's about as best I can do on that one. And you know, Heather, if we're short on questions, I have some trivia.
Okay, sounds good. Let's get through one or two more questions and then should we do the trivia? Now, we have one person, it looks like two people that responded. Is it the theme song from Perfect Strangers?
Nope, afraid not.
How about Betty Picks the Guernsey?
Nope, not that.
Okay. Those were our only two guesses. So what is the answer?
The answer is I Don't Want to Live on the Moon. And that is a song from Sesame Street.
Oh, that's funny.
Yep.
Cool. Sweet.
Okay.
Okay, so our next question comes from Joey. I've been a fan for many years. Thank you for all of the info.
You're welcome.
What inspired you to take a love for casino math to the web? Also, what types of inquiries have you had from people wishing to pay you for your answers?
Yeah, I've told the story before, but through the 90s, I worked as a government actuary in Baltimore. And this was the 90s was when the internet became available to the masses. And I was asked to make a website for our office. And I did that. And I loved it so much that I just started making fun websites on my own. And one of them was on baby names, and another was on math problems, and another was on gambling. And it's the gambling one that really became popular. So it started out as just a hobby. And the first 3 years, there was entirely no advertising. It was just a labor of love. And it grew into what you see today. And so that's what inspired me to make a website about gambling. And I get people all the time asking if they can hire me to analyze a game or something. And I'm willing to do that. Most people find somebody else who will do it cheaper than me. But yeah, but I do a lot of slot machine design. I do a lot of analysis for private game inventors. And, you know, sometimes casinos ask me to review the play of somebody who won a lot of money to see if it looks suspicious or just, you know, within the normal range of you know, in the bell curve of what might they expect from a lucky player and things like that.
Well, it sounds like a pretty interesting job.
Yeah, I can't complain. I have, yeah, I like what I do.
Awesome.
Oh, thanks for the question.
Yeah. You want to do one more question and then we'll do the trivia?
Well, we're getting so late in the show. Maybe we'll just start on the police trivia.
Okay.
So, okay. Well, let me just start with one. In which country would you find the Royal Mounted Police? And while
So
the audience is chewing on that, I know there's a delay. Why don't you give me a question?
this is from Skill and Luck. Can you add money to your don't pass bet?
No, because once a don't pass, as I just explained, after the come out roll, a don't pass bet will go up in equity. So they absolutely would not let you add to that. You can always lay odds on it, which is similar. So that's about as far as I can take that one.
Okay. And we have a couple answers to your trivia question. First,
Yes, everyone
first
in
one
Canada is correct.
awesome.
Okay, what would you call a police officer in England?
So if you guys know the answer, put that in the chat. And while we are waiting, we have another question.
Mm-hmm.
So Source Keen says, do the sportsbook in Vegas limit the number of games that you could put in a parlay? Bet Rivers here in Illinois limits you to 12.
I don't think it's the number of games, but you can only go up to a win of so much. So I think if you mix in too many things and then you declare your bet amount and it would cause the win to go over their maximum payout, I think they would either tell you to lower your bet amount or take some things off the parlay. So that's how I think it works here.
Okay. So the question for the answer, we have a lot of people saying Bobby. Is
Yep.
Bobby the correct one?
Bobby is the correct answer.
Sweet. And Joey was the first one to answer that one.
All right, good job, Joey. Okay. According to which amendment in the Constitution, what do police need before they can arrest somebody?
So put your answer in the chat. And while we're waiting, our next question is pick a favorite game, 3-card poker or Crazy 4 poker?
Between those two, I would say Crazy 4 poker. That game has actually a low house advantage measured by everything that you bet of under a 1%, if I remember correctly, or right around 1%.
That's
so
nice.
Between those two games, I'd definitely go with Crazy 4 poker.
Awesome. Good answer.
And I see the right answer here. Jonathan Weens says, yes, the Fourth Amendment says the police need probable cause before they can arrest somebody.
But before Jonathan, it looks like Jason Bryant got it.
Okay. Sorry, Jason. You get the credit then for being first. Okay. What does SWAT stand for, as in a SWAT team? It's an acronym for something.
Some scary ass. No, I'm kidding.
Okay, while we're waiting for that, I see someone asked, do you bet the 2 or 12 in crapless craps? No, I don't play crapless craps because the odds are not as good as in regular craps. And I don't even remember the value on a place bet on the 2 or a 12. So, so that's about as far as I can take that one.
Okay. Do you want to do one more question?
Sure.
Okay. Do they still offer Caribbean Stud in Las Vegas? I had a tough time finding it the last time I was here.
I think the Venetian still has it. I know they had 4 tables of that when I worked there, 2 at the Venetian, 2 at the Palazzo. So they are really reluctant to let go of that game there. But I'm not absolutely sure. But that's where I would at least check.
Okay. And do you see an answer to the question? Would it be special weapons and tactics?
It would be. You know, there is a thing on the Wizard of Vegas. In fact, I will look at that right now. You go to Wizard of Vegas and then click surveys and then click the poker variant survey. And let me sort this by game. And according to this, the Monte Carlo, which is now the Park MGM, the Palazzo, and the Venetian had Caribbean instead.
Okay.
Yep. Okay.
Cool. So, what is our next trivia question?
Our next trivia question is, what is the name of the Texas State Police? There's a particular term for them.
So, if you know, put it in the chat. And while we are waiting, are you still riding around on your unicycle?
Absolutely. I try to ride it almost every day. Maybe I don't ride it as much as I used to, but I like to ride it about 5 miles a day.
That's pretty good. That's a lot.
Yep.
Do you have a certain route or something you go on?
Lately, I've been more reluctant to ride on the streets, so I often will do 3 laps around my neighborhood, and each lap is about 1.5 miles. On weekends, I will be more inclined to go down the bike trails, but that entails having to ride along busy streets a little bit at the time. So, yep, still out there unicycling.
Awesome. And is the answer to the question Rangers?
Yes, the Texas Rangers.
Yay.
Who gets credit for Joey again?
Joey.
All right, Joey. Okay. What is the legal process that allows police to seize property without a crime being committed?
So if you know, put it in the chat.
Yep.
And until then, our next question is from Jonathan. I just finished my second day at dealing school. I spent the first day of the class cutting checks, and I'm looking forward to having an audition after I graduate. How do I land an audition?
Heather, I'll leave that one to you because you can more of the expert in that.
Okay. So typically what you do, especially here in Las Vegas, is you put in your application first through the website. So that way they have your application when you go in. Go in with your salt and peppers. So you're wearing your black pants, your white shirt, you're looking really nice. So that way when you go up to the casino manager or the shift manager, tell them who you are, tell them you're looking for a job. And when you let them know that, ask them, hey, can I do an audition right now? They'll ask you if your application is already in. You'll say yes, and they will go and they will audition you real fast. If you are nervous or if you are worried about getting the audition you want, write out a list from 1 to 10, 1 being the casino you want to work at the most, 10 being the casino you want to work at the least, and then start applying and auditioning from casinos starting at 10. So by the time you get to number 1, you have made all of your mistakes that you're going to make. You've gotten the nervousness out of your system and you are ready to go, and you've done this 100 times and you are just going to ace that audition.
All right. Yeah, good advice. I think getting a dealing job is really quite easy, but you have to start at the bottom and work your way up. But I've had just some terrible dealers in terms of just being really slow and not knowing what to do.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yep.
Good advice, Heather.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay. I see. Yes, it looks like Derek got the right name. Not sure if he's first, but yes, it's called civil forfeiture.
Cool.
Yes, the police only need to suspect that the property had something to do with a crime. They don't need to actually arrest anybody to take property, and it can be actually quite difficult to get it back. So the concept was, I think the idea meaning that they could seize stuff that was like money and guns that was maybe involved in a drug deal. But in some places, the police have really, in my opinion, gone beyond the intention of the law by, say, seizing a whole airplane because a passenger, took some drugs on it, something like that. Okay, but let's go on to the next one. What U.S. law enforcement agency becomes part of the military in the event of a war?
Oh, that's a good question. Okay, so if you guys know, put it in the chat. Put the answers in the chat. And until then, we got an easy question for you. You played Screwed Your Neighbor. Is this like Chase the Ace? Have you ever played Chase the Ace?
No, I've not heard of that. Have you, Heather?
No, I've never heard of that.
Well, I will look into that after the show. But yeah, like I said, I have a brand new video on Screw Your Neighbor, so please check it out.
Man, that just sounds so funny.
Yeah, I played with Angela and Angela's sister and Angela's husband, so I think it's a pretty fun video.
You're getting kinky over there. So is it the National Guard?
Nope.
Okay. And how about Griffin Resorts?
That's definitely not part of the military.
Okay. In that case, we don't have an answer just yet. Do you want to do another question or do you want to say the answer?
I'll give you guys a little more time. I really thought somebody would get this one. Okay, here's one. Who were the main characters on the old TV show Adam 12? So anyone my age or older should get this one.
So put your answer in the chat. While we are waiting, our next question comes from Dan. I've been a casino dealer for 17 years, but I would like your opinion on the iVerify machines in regards to PieGow. Is the number generator random since the machine knows where the dealer is?
I think it is fair. And for those who don't understand the question, there are shufflers now, we call them the iVerify machines, that basically know where every single card is. And in PieGow Poker, this can be used in that the shuffler, there'll be like a display that the dealer can see that will show the dealer how to split their hand by the house way. And I think it can also detect, or shall we say, can also tell the dealer the result of every hand. Wait, no, it wouldn't know how the players set their hands, but they can also do the same thing in PieGow tiles. So yes, while this could be potentially, there would be a potential for cheating, I strongly believe that gaming here in Nevada is fair, and yeah, that the games are clean. That's my opinion.
Sounds cool. Now, do you see an answer to your trivia question?
I do not. The answer is the Coast Guard. They do, they're kind of like do law enforcement, like patrolling the coasts during peacetime, but they can actually go out there and I guess help out the Navy in the event of a war.
Wow.
I see someone got it. Skill and Luck got it. Okay, did anyone get my 12 question?
Cool.
I don't
do not see anything.
No old timers here. No, the answer to who were the main characters on Adam 12, that would be Pete Malloy and Jim Reed. But I'll ask the same question. Who are the main characters on CHIPS, and what does CHIPS stand for?
So if you know, put your answer in the chat.
So while you guys are chewing on that, do you have a question for me, Heather? And I see we're running low on time. So 5-minute warning, guys.
Okay, so get your question in there if you have one. Otherwise, let's see. I'm going through and I'm scrolling for questions. I feel playing PieGow, if the dealer uses a dice shaker, it is truly random, but I want to verify. That's one. So yeah, using the dice shaker is pretty random.
Yeah, I'm not sure I understand the question, but
well,
I don't know if they also use the dice when they have the iVerifier or not. You know, if the dealer could put in there what was rolled, then the iVerifier should know who gets what cards. So yeah, that's about as far as I can take that one. I see someone got part of it. Yes, I see Bert Davis. Yes, CHIP stands for the California Highway Patrol. One of them was Ponch, also known as John. It was Francis Poncherello, but they just called him Ponch. I forgot that his first name was really Francis. But who was his sidekick?
Oh,
Maybe I shouldn't say sidekick because that implies that the sidekick is lower. But who was his partner?
was it the Pitbull Hooch?
What was it? Who?
Remember the '90s movie?
Turner and Hooch? No, I never saw that. I heard it was really awful.
You thought it was awful?
I just heard it was awful, but I shouldn't criticize a show I've never seen.
So our next, or do you want to ask a trivia question?
I think that time has run out on Ponch's sidekick. That would his full name was Officer Jonathan Andrew Baker, but he just went by John, as in Ponch and John.
Yeah, nobody got that.
Okay. Next question. Oh wait, here's another trivia.
And it looks like this is going to be our final one.
Okay. What's a good one? Who was the first director of the FBI?
Oh, okay. That's a good question.
Okay. And you have me, Heather?
Yep. While we were waiting, this is from James. Do casinos analyze players' play styles on slot machines and use them for the casino's benefit, like giving away a big win initially because the casino knows that the player would lose much more at the end?
No, that's a myth. I've heard all kinds of variants of it. Like some people think that when a player first sits down and played, the game might tease them with some wins, and then once the players say gets sucked in, as evidenced by guess's rate of play increasing, then that's when they take it, that it goes into takedown mode. Absolutely not true. The games are programmed that every bet has the exact same chances of anything happening, and they have a memoryless quality in that your odds are always the same. Now some wins can go up and down like progressive jackpots and must hit by progressives, meaning your expected return is not always the same, but the probability of any given thing happening that's determined by the reels is always the same.
Awesome. So do you see an answer to the trivia question?
Yes, I see a bunch of people got it. It would be J. Edgar Hoover.
Sweet.
Congratulations to everyone who got that.
A lot of people got that.
I see someone asked about James Grosjean. Where is he now? I basically don't know. He's still writing for the Las Vegas Advisor, and I hear and maybe someone here who said this, but I hear he has a third book in the works. So yeah, he's still doing his thing, and but where he actually physically is, I do not know.
Okay. So it is 4:00. Do you want to end it for today, or do you want to do one more question for the road?
Well, I should say I see Adapters gave us a very nice compliment. Thank you very much. And
thank you.
No, yeah, I'm not seeing any questions that jump out at me. So Heather, thank you very much for joining me. And thank you very much, audience, for watching and for all your questions. So again, the next show will be in 2 weeks on October 29th. I won't be here, but Father Michael will be filling in for me. So if you have anything you want to confess, any questions of a spiritual nature, give them to Father Michael, and he will be challenging you with some Catholic trivia.
Well, it's good to know because I think I have a couple of things I need to confess to Father Michael. So
He will be happy to hear your confession and decide on a penance for you.
well, thank goodness, but I don't know if he could save that tribble.
Okay, guys. So again, thank you very much. Thanks again, Heather. And we'll see you in 2 weeks. And until then, stay out of trouble and don't forget to vote.
Yes, definitely. Bye.
Bye, everybody.